Hi there, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the final episode of the Hit the Mall, Defend the Shop series. So it's a 12th session. We got a lot of mileage out of this little game. Speaking of the little game, it's a gentle hack of my own game, Hit the Streets, Defend the Block, which you can purchase on Drive Through RPG in a very nice print on demand or PDF, or you can get both. It's pretty good. Won some awards. You should check it out. I like it. We are actually going to be trying out a little tweak to the game today based off of the fact that we've played 11 sessions of it and there's a lot of XP. So I worked with Jen to come up with something to offer up to encourage spending XP that doesn't necessarily blow your character outdoors off. Unfortunately, Alex had some things to take care of with the family, so he will not be able to join us for this epilogue episode of the series. So we wish you well, Alex, and we're sorry that the Peacock will forever have an ongoing feud with his son who's disappointed in him. We'll never know. We'll never know what happened. Oh, so sad. I'm sure they worked it out. So let's quickly talk about our lines and veils, and then we'll go around the horn to do very quick reminders of who our supers are. We have a line, meaning we're not at all interested in this content. The line is against sexual assault, violence, or coercion. We have veils, meaning that we're okay with the content, but when it's brought up, we'll quickly cut away. We don't go into the nitty gritty, the gory details. We will fade to black. And then we have a few items. The veils are harm to animals, sexual content, and torture. And that'd be consensual sexual content. Then we have ask first, which means contextually it could be okay, but please do check in with the table before introducing this into the game. And the ask firsts are also sexual content, harm to animals, politics, all in caps, and pandemics. So, with all of that on top of the lines and veils, we do always have the X card, meaning at any point, if there's any part of the game that's introduced that you didn't think to put a line and veil on, or it just strikes you as odd contextually, or for whatever reason, just say, hey, Rich, I need to X card this thing. I won't ask you to defend yourself or to tell us the story of why you want to X card it. That doesn't matter. It's a thing that you need removed from the game for you to be able to continue to enjoy it. So that's all that's needed. I may ask a question of what it is if I'm just checking in to make sure that I understand it. Then we excise it from our play and continue on. No harm, no foul, hopefully. It's a bummer that the thing came up that you needed to X card, but I'm going to play forward with the best of intentions, and we're all friends here to have a good time. So hopefully you'll take it in that context. So, with all of that in mind, let's start from the right hand side of our character keeper and head to the left, which means that Sabine, you get to introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I am playing. What am I playing? I'm playing Dr. Brutus Emery, who, well, once upon a time, was Dr. Flux, a supervillain who wreaked, no, well, not a lot of havoc, but at least he's responsible for burning down an opera house, and a lot of people died there. So, well, that was the point where he really thought about his life and started to turn around. But well, that was, I think, about 35 to 40 years ago. But last session, he gave himself up for being Dr. Flux, and also that he could play witness to the prosecution against another supervillain who was not a former but an actual current supervillain, Professor Peril. So
All right, thank you. Next up is Jen. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hey, I'm Jen. I use the she, her pronouns. I am playing Dog, aka Dana Maddox, who also uses the she, her pronouns. Last session was helping some friends get through the confrontation with both a supervillain and a superhero who is falling from grace rather precipitously. But things went about as well as they can go in those situations. And, I've been clipped a little bit, and I've got a few bullet grazes, which should probably be patched up. And hopefully it's time to go home and bask in victory. Who knows?
Victory basking is the best. Last but certainly not least is Tyler. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Marty McMichaels, the Golden Boy, who is a speedster-like controller and who has spent pretty much his whole life, starting out very, very young as a super sidekick and then going off on his own. And this last session was pretty emotional for him, having to take down an old ally and whose motivations were understandable, even if he had taken that step over the line that just can't be allowed. And it was it was really emotional for him.
Indeed. All right, so we're going to skip some time between the end of the last session. So what I'd like to ask everyone to do is let's just do a quick reset on where you are with Spark. So normally starting with Spark, you would start with 3 plus 1d6 worth of Spark. So let's just do that. Let's have everybody roll a single d6 on our Roll With Me rolling room created by John Grimm. And then we'll move forward after we have that. Okay, so dog's got 8. Sorry, Rich does math differently. Dog has 5, Tyler has 5. And we'll see how much the cyclist, aka Dr. Flux, aka Bruce
I'm still
Emery.
trying to type Brutus's name. So. And it's 2d6, right?
It is single d6, 1d6.
1d6. Oh, 1d6. Okay.
It's going to be a little on the low side, but that's okay. We'll make sure and be generous with our refresh scenes.
That's a 3. That's fine.
Okay, cool. So you'll have
I mean,
6.
I was at 0 by the end of last session.
Yes, you were.
Because I had fried Professor Perril's abilities to mind control people.
Yes, you were in rough shape. So some time has passed. Lucky.
Yeah.
So it's 3 plus the roll, is that correct?
Correct. 3 plus the
Oh.
roll. So you should be at 5, and Cyclist should be at 6, and Dog should be at 5. Thanks for checking. So I would like to open with a scene of Golden Boy. Is he at a nice restaurant with Sylvia? With Syl? Is he at a movie? Is he at a play? They're on a date.
I think that after he had thought about it a bit and, play just didn't seem him and all of that, they've gone to a nice place for dinner that also has dancing.
Ooh, of course, because he's super athletic. So that is a really great idea. So it's a place in Beechwood that maybe it's like a place, some nice jazz music or something, you think?
Yeah.
And Sylvia she's dressed nice. She tried not to overdress, and she's very happy to be here. So she has a nice dress on because she's got her dancing shoes ready to go. You gave her enough warning to where she would know. Do we pick up with maybe a little bit of a dance number? Like, are you guys actually dancing? Is that the first thing we open on?
Yeah, I think so. And, as kind of both from his youth, that era of his youth, and because a superhero back in the 50s would have, you needed to be kind of suave. I mean, there was a whole series of, you know, superheroes that were a bit so he knows how to dance. And so I think there's a bit of us twirling around the dance floor.
Nice. And the music that's being played is something, it's maybe like Some Enchanted Evening is playing. And, it's a nice song. Wow, I did not even realize until I put it up that was written by Richard Rogers with a D.
Indeed, it's from from South Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah, I just forgot that was. So, Some Enchanted Evening is playing, and we see the elderly couple dancing, and there are a number of middle-aged folks who are out, couples who are out on the dance floor as well. This is a well-known area to like eat and dance. It's near the beach, so there are lots of windows that open out, and we have the sun setting over on the horizon over the waters. And I think this might be interesting to me. I'll check in if this does not spark fancy, but I think it might be cool that an older song like that might open us up to a flashback to a time when Golden Boy, you said you had to be pretty suave in your younger years. Maybe this is a flashback to some time when Dog was involved in a caper or an adventure of some kind that started with this same song. So let's say that this is sometime in the 80s. So Dog's been around long enough to where she knows what's what. You've been released upon your own recognizance after being a refugee from the Mojoverse. But it's the 80s, right? So we see all the dancers are younger, and there are shoulder pads. There's very large hair. And lots of 80s fashion t-shirts with suit coats, all of that fun stuff going on, a little bit of the Miami Vice style, a couple with high top fades. And so Golden Boy, who do we see you dancing with in this flashback?
I think we see, let's see, it's the 80s. I think we see me dancing with someone in a rather slinky black dress. They have dark hair, Eastern European features, so fairly sharp features, attractive. And I know that they are probably a Russian spy.
Oh, perfect. That's very 80s. And what is it when it pans across? What is it that we see Dana Maddox doing, and how is she dressed? Like, what is the 1980s comics version of Dog like?
Oh man, it's so punk. Neon pink mohawk, giant safety pin hanging out of one of her ears, ratty t-shirt, really big leather jacket, spiky shoulders, some kind of band t-shirt frontage pinned to the back of the leather jacket.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like probably like Bad Brains or something. And I think the Dog is jamming it with Bon, actually. I think
oh, nice.
I think she dragged Bon out for this.
Now, did Bon follow Dog's fashion? Like, is she punked up as well?
She's got her own mind. So I'm sure that she is dressed 80s-y, and I'm sure that she's dressed more daringly than you might see on the street, but she's not gone punk.
Cool. Yeah, so let's see, as Rich quickly pulls up just a few looks at some Pinterest of 80s fashion.
Like the Madonna style.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, once you've been in space, I mean, Earth fashion is just,
it's so easy. You just just a little less. So yeah, we have Bon, who, if you guys remember, the face claim we're using for Bon is Asian descent. So she's gone the full Madonna style. So she's wearing like a a teddy top and a pair of ripped acid washed jeans. Her hair has been dyed, but the roots are showing, and it's rather long. She has it like pulled into a somewhat messy ponytail with a scrunchie on top, and a number of piercings all along her ears. Bright red lipstick. It's very Madonna-esque, an ode to that fashion. And Dog, let's see, so the dancing is going on. Maybe we're not at the exact same club. Do you think Dog and Bon and Golden Boy, Dog, I'm asking the question, you think that you guys are somewhere in Beechwood, or is this somewhere else, this flashback?
I think if it's not Beechwood, it's probably close to Beechwood. I wonder what the closest bigger city is to Beechwood.
We could lead into what's been recently established and go with Bedlam, if
Mm-hmm.
you like. We could establish a wholly new city, but it's
Well,
kind of a
do we
weird thing
think
to do.
maybe if we're talking Russian and we're talking a bigger city, think this is maybe a suburb or an area near San Diego, so we have the naval base?
Sure,
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that. Good call. Good call. So like in the bottom we see San Diego. And you're dancing with this Russian woman. What's a Katerina, I think. We'll call her Katerina, and that's the first name I could think of. Feels like an 80s Russian name. So, Gold Boy, you guys dance, you finish. Some Enchanted Evening comes to an end, and the two of you are headed over to near your table, and you see Dog and Bon are there. How do we know that the three of you are working together in this flashback? Like, what does Golden Boy do?
Let's see. Am I heading back to their table, or I'm just walking by them? Right. I mean, we're not.
I think you're walking by them. I don't think that Dog. I think the way I'm imagining is Dog and Bon are kind of here, but not sitting actively at a table. They're just present.
I think then that as we're walking by and I'm making conversation, I'll do the casual, the sting sort of, the nose tip.
Nice. And so Katerina and she's flirting pretty heavily with you, Marty. It's obvious that she's able to mask her accent, and then she gets a text. It's the 80s, Rich, please. She gets her pager, buzzes, and she checks it, and then we see Dog. So does Dog's Mojo Slab, like, it's the same Mojo Slab, right? It just hasn't been active for a while, but maybe the Mojo Slab picks up the same information. We see Dog look down at the Mojo Slab, which it of course has 6 bars of emoji.
Of course.
In the 80s. Yeah, I mean, timeless technology. And we see the symbols of what it looks like on the page, which is all in Russian, and then we've got the translation to whatever Dog wants it to be translated to. But it's a comic, so of course, if it's not in English, then there's an asterisk and an editor's note of what it says, and it says, "Bring the target to the docks. And Katerina says, it's it's so warm here. Perhaps we could go out for a stroll, Marty.
That sounds like an excellent idea. A little walk in the moonlight would only make this night better.
And there's a quick cut to the two of you walking along the boardwalk. If there's not a boardwalk at San Diego, then the letters to the editor will educate us on such things. And we see the naval base in the in the background there. Dog and Bon, are you guys following behind, or are you ahead? Like, what's the setup for Dog to make sure that Goldie doesn't get hurt by this Russian spy?
I think I'd go ahead and I think that I think my goal would be to pick off any spies laying in wait at the docks, like before Goldie even gets there with Katerina.
Cool. So, yeah, like we see the two of them, and it's one of those like shots where we recognize the figures, but it's more figure drawing as they're walking along. And
like maybe in silhouette, you see some sort of pier guard and like rising up from the waters below and climbing onto the pier is Dog. Maybe a panel of her with her hand over the guy's mouth and just dragging him back into the water for a little nappy poo.
Nice. That's awesome. I love it. And she is chatting with you. It's obvious that she's trying to seduce Marty. How does Marty handle her advances? Like, what do we see? Is he dismayed by this, or is he play along?
He's playing along, and of course this is 80s Marty, so he's gold. His hair's that blonde feather back. He's handsome in a thin way. So he's playing along with this, and his thought here is that she will lead him to where there's more information, where he can have the showdown, and he knows that Dog and Bon are there as backup, so he's playing along with this.
Nice. Yeah,
probably on the way in on some dock post, you see Dog's jacket just sort of hanging out by itself.
Nice. And then I think, just because I don't want this flashback to take too terribly long, that's when we see the moon has come up at this point. It's dark. We see the starlights outside. Dog has taken out a few of the sentries that are watching over this, and then you, Dog, get intercept another Mojo Slab text that Dark Star is, Crimson Dynamo is arriving. And then we see, so quickly screen share, we see this huge monstrosity come down in jet boots and slam his way onto the boardwalk. Marty, he rises up a hand as to fire a repulsor ray at you, and that's when we see Commissar Cat, as her code name is known. She draws out of her purse some kind of weapon, but you were totally ready for it, right? You dodge out of the way. But how is it that you and Dog team up together to take down the Crimson Dynamo? So what's the first thing that Golden Boy does after he dodges out of the way of seductress Commissar Cat and her?
I think that he looks at her and says, "Not today, comrade," and he rushes forward, and he is going to begin moving in between the legs and around the legs to distract and try to trip up Crimson Dynamo.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So he starts to trip up Crimson Dynamo. He is a little off balance. What is it that Dog and Bon do to help take him down in this last couple of panels?
Probably a classic lassoing of some kind, like industrial cabling from somewhere on the docks, throw it around his legs, topple him over into the water.
Perfect. That's awesome. I love it. Anything more you guys wanted to establish in that flashback? Or you feel good with it?
I think that's solid.
Awesome. So we come to the present. We know so because it says present day at the bottom of the panel. And we see in a prison uniform none other than Dr. Brutus Emery. It's been some time. You've regained some spark. You've regained the capability to utilize your abilities. But what's changed? What do we see when we see Dr. Emery this time?
Well, I would have imagined actually that he tried to cut some kind of deal with what's their name? Parma.
Mm-hmm.
So to help them with his knowledge, not to create weapons, but there are other things he can do. So I imagine that he would try to get out of the whole "I'm going to prison now," because that's not useful to anybody.
Absolutely. I agree. And
also he has a pretty good lawyer.
ooh, do we know who this lawyer is? Is it one of the lawyers from the mall? Because they're
No, it's a good lawyer. It's a good lawyer. No,
because if it's Dewey or Cheatham, I don't know.
No, he's done some work with a law firm that is actually usually defending useful super offenders, people who have superpowers and get into trouble. And he's worked with them before and helped them finance their stuff. So he knows people, and he gets one of them maybe to help him out.
Okay. So we see just the look of Dr. Emery, and then we pull back and we see that you've got a well-dressed lawyer. She's sitting right beside you. And then the third shot is kind of a side shot of the metal table where you are seated. You're currently handcuffed in a non-metallic cuff style, and sitting across from you is Damon Dillon and Hugo Fernandez.
I spent some XP to reinstate Hugo.
Ah, nice.
Because I saw that was an option, and I thought that would actually maybe be useful. Maybe not, who knows? But I spent my XP. I've got 12 of them. And
I love it. Yes, success. Success of play. So we see Damon Dillon and Hugo Fernandez, who fully reinstated member of Parma. And Hugo, he like lays this manila folder. He opens it up and he slides it around, and he says, the agreement that we've come to for you to testify against Professor Peril, heretofore to be known as as Rich jumps down to grab his real name,
Sarah Prescott.
Cyril, thank you, Cyril Prescott, will enable you to gain a lesser sentencing, which further will be commuted as long as you continue to work with Parma. We do, however, for the record, need you to list all the crimes for which you will the sentence will be commuted. And so I thought that might be a nice little opening to a flashback.
Oh, nice. Right? Okay. Yeah, sure. I imagine that my lawyer actually has a list. I mean, we've compiled these things.
I'm sure you have. Is there a particular, like, what do we see? And it can be just a series of images in kind of a montage, but
I think we see a lot of the flux disk being constructed. And we will see a lot of things that you need to construct a flux disk, because the flux disk that can go through a lot, it can do a lot of things, right? So I think we will see sort of heists, robberies, robberies of museums, of what's the name? What am I looking for? Labs, science labs.
Okay, cool.
So you can get rare ingredients. And of course, in the end, we'll see the Hoover Dam disaster. No, wasn't a disaster precisely, but we see the Hoover Dam thing where Dr. Emery, Dr. Flux constructed a gadget that would allow him to just siphon off the energy produced by the Hoover Dam and use it to to power up his flux disk, which has been pretty depleted because of the time heist we don't talk about. Nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers that. And I think this is where we actually have a fight between Dr. Flux and some. I mean, Peacock isn't here, but maybe Golden Boy is, or Dana is.
We see Peacock. He's drawn in. He just doesn't have any lines. We see action sequences.
Yeah. So it's a lot of water, like waves flashing and electricity sparkling around. And of course, the flux disk is flying. I mean, the flux disk is pretty big. Yeah. It's bigger than the Define for sure. So it's not a small thing, that flux disk. It looks a bit like the Define, only rounder. Looks like a flying saucer, basically.
Cool.
Had some disco lights, but they never got used. Yeah.
Disco light. Like the silver ball, or just like actual lights on the disc.
No, lights, like strobing lights.
Very
and
cool.
A disco ball. Everything. It was meant to do something. A plan that Dr. Flux and Dr. Peril had to hypnotize some people and stuff, but that never came to fruition because that was before. That should have happened after the opera thing, but yeah, that didn't. And then Brutus thought, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But at this point, he's still like, I have to power up my flux disk, and when it is finished, you will regret the day you met me, Captain Peacock.
Oh, that's great. And it's totally from the memories of Dr. Emery. So, of course, yeah, that's great. You call him Captain Peacock, and he doesn't retort. He does not deny it in the memories here that you share with Parma.
It's probably just too loud. I mean, probably never heard the whole Captain.
Yeah, years later, you're reminiscing about it. It's like, I heard you shouting, but I couldn't make out a thing over the sound of the flux disk charging, and you're just like,
yeah, it was my best line. I had practiced that laughter for so damn long, and you didn't even hear it. Crushed.
Oh man, it's enough to make some.
In those situations, it's tough. I mean, do you wave your hand and say that you can't hear?
That's right. You see that the other guy is saying something. I'm pretty sure we could see Captain Peacock's mouth the peacock's mouth moving within a stinging retort or something, or maybe he was just saying, I can't hear you. That's also possible.
Oh,
yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Cool. Are there any other flashbacks that we have, crimes that you want to reveal in our last session? Mastermind things that you pulled off?
Nah, I think it's I'm good because the whole I'm the mastermind and I did a lot. I mean, sure, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't blatant, but a lot of Dr. Flux was pretty blatant and showy and look at me, I'm Dr. Flux, right? Because that was his thing. he could have done it a lot more subtly. And I imagine that at least at one point he made a really large blatant thing, like going after, I don't know, Statue of Liberty or what have you. What's in Chicago? What's big and posy?
Chicago has like this cool giant Ferris wheel type deal that's right on the lake. And
yeah, so he went after the Ferris wheel, and everybody was panicking, and people were shouting, and the Ferris wheel was going really fast, and like a hamster wheel. But really, what really was, maybe we can see in the flashback also, we can see the flux disc parked somewhere near an actual energy. Oh, what's the word for where you produce energy? Like
a power plant?
Yeah, a power plant. That's what I was looking. Sorry,
Cool.
like near a power plant, just drawing that empty. And when the whole thing with the Ferris wheel and somebody had kicked Dr. Flux's ass, then Chicago went dark because of all the power that was drawn out. So it was actually a win, but people didn't think so. So.
Hmm.
And what I also imagine is that one thing we will also see is, that wasn't that long ago, 5 years, 6 years maybe. And we see Raphael Peacock running around, chasing, I don't know, some car thieves or something, it's not that long ago. And the cyclist was helping him. And the two of them, they got the bad guys. And that's when the cyclist said to him, "Well done, Captain Peacock." And I think that's the moment when Raphael knew, because nobody called him Captain Peacock.
That's the moment. Mm-hmm. Nice. I like that. Cool. Yeah. So we cut away from that particular scene, and we see the next thing that we see is Dr. Emery and Ms. Jackson, Danielle Jackson, the lawyer who helped Dr. Emery with this deal. The two of you are walking outside, and then you get into a car, and we see Danielle's driving. It's her car. She's driving you home. She turns on her phone and Bluetooths to the radio, and as you guys are driving through Beechwood and past the mall,
I have a question for her.
Yes. What's your question?
They took Ghost Gunner in, right?
That's a great question. So yeah, we hear a news report of the trial of a century.
Because I would have pushed her towards helping him too.
And yes, the trial of the century is an update on we should probably reveal the Emmett Tomes, aka the Ghost Gunner, in the trial of a century. So she looks over and says, "It's going as well as could be expected. I think that we will be able to get a significantly reduced sentence. The main concern that I have right now about Emmett is protection. Professor Perril's not even gone to trial, and it's pretty well known that he has still a large hit out for Emmett. I hope that he's able to make it to trial."
Well, I hope that my testimony will help put Mr. Prescott away for good.
So do I. That's one of the main bargaining chips that I offered, was that your testimony should be helpful, making sure
even
that
if
happens.
They hadn't let me go, he should go down. He's threatened my friends, my family.
I know. But let's celebrate the victories that we have. You've been released on your own recognizance, pending future assignments for Parma's sake. and all of your sentence will be commuted based on your good works that you have performed over the last decade or so, and your testimony. I think everything will work out for you, Dr. Emery.
I hope so. Thanks for your work.
Of course, I'm happy to help. I think the greater good is served by having you among us.
I hope so. And then I'll text Marty and Dana that I'm at home. Just so they know.
Nice. Maybe
And
we
I
jump.
text Raphael as well, and as well, of course.
Of course, yeah. Yes, you text everyone. You've got a group text. The White Walkers, in fact, I think might be the name of it. As we, in the last episode, actually used the name of the group that we called it before we even started the game. May we cut to a scene at Dr. Emery's house? With Dog and Golden Boy, like a group scene.
Oh.
That would be fun.
Dana, I would have asked you to take care of the cat.
Oh, of course.
Because
There you
Esther is
go.
fine, but I think you have a better hand for pets.
I got this.
Welcome home, Dr. Emery. I have watered all of your plants. I also purchased several new plants. It increases the oxygenation in the area, which is healthy.
That is a very good idea. Thank you, Esther. There are a lot of plants here.
I know. It's like a jungle.
It really is, yeah. Maybe we cannot put them in front of the TV, though.
Understood. Although, if you would just allow me to replace your eyes with these cybernetic enhancements, you could watch TV in your brain.
Esther, I have no intention of watching TV in my brain.
It's so much more efficient.
It's not about it. Watching TV, the way I do it, it's not about efficiency.
Oh, I see. Well, just so you know, I binged the entire series of Shadowhunters yesterday.
I have no idea what that is.
It's delightful!
I imagine it is if you binged the whole season.
I
No, but-
couldn't stop. I think it's a guilty pleasure.
Well, you're entitled to have these.
Of course. Oh, Dana Maddox is here. She's
Oh.
arriving on her special cycle.
So, Dana, do you arrive by yourself? Have you brought Bon or Hope along? And of course, you have Tinkerbell, the cat.
I think it's just me. And Tinkerbell, of course. In her little cat carrier.
Nice.
I've been taking it easy on the bike so that it's not too scary. And I come up in and knock on the door and, with cat carrier in hand, probably a
Oh.
little blanket lining the bottom of the cat carrier.
I open up. Hey,
Hey. Now reach out to clasp hands. Welcome back.
yeah, I'll take your hand and sort of shake it. Like I'm trying to do a normal, like we shake hands, and if that wasn't what you were going for. Yeah, well, pretty much out of the wood. I seem to be out of the woods yet for now. Have to work for Parma now, but well.
Mm-hmm. Now wander in and get the door closed behind us and then let Tinkerbell out.
Yeah, I think she's insulted.
Yeah, I don't think Tinkerbell is as quite as into the plants as anyone else. So I don't know. If Tinkerbell were a dog, there would be some sneezing of frustration.
There's probably it's probably a good thing that she doesn't like the plants, because the alternative is that she really, really likes the plants
Oh yeah.
and wants to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah. First thing she does, she jumps up somewhere and pushes the plant down. Like, not on my cupboard. You're not standing here.
Awesome. What is Dog's reaction to the sheer amount of plantage?
Esther said she was going to get another plant or two, but this is more than I thought.
Yeah, it's very green.
Yeah, sorry for not telling her to maybe think about it.
You're
No,
Ask you
welcome.
first.
It's fine. She lives here too.
Yeah, okay. So when are you going to hear back from the law?
I've signed everything. I guess whenever Parma needs me, I'll hear from them.
Huh.
And of course, when they need me to testify.
Right.
But trials take time, and this kind of trial with a guy who has these kinds of lawyers will take more time. But I'm pretty sure the prosecutors are very motivated to get him.
I should fucking hope so.
Yeah. I've also been constructing kind of shield thingies that the prosecutors can wear so they stay enthusiastic, because I don't think I've fried his powers for good.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could have totally fried his brain, but I didn't want to kill him. Damn.
Not a good end to that kind of scenario.
No.
The whole story is about us trying to stop somebody from killing.
Yeah. Guess we stopped 2 guys from killing.
Yep.
So do we high five this?
Do you feel like a high five?
I feel like a high five.
All right, here we go. Old fools, man. They just keep on at it.
Yeah, I mean, Raphael and I stopped. So I feel it's not inevitable.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which is good.
Yeah. You want drink or tea or something?
I'll have some tea.
Okay. Let's see what Esther's got here. Wonder if some of these plants are teas. What are you?
I thought tea came from trees.
Yeah, some of these are proto trees.
I'm okay with animals, but I'm not so good with plants.
Yeah, I'm not that great either, but I took some biochemistry and I've got a good memory, so.
Awesome. At this time, Tinkerbell nudges a plant off of one of the shelves.
This
So-
time I catch it.
Yeah, I try to get her. Like, come over here, cat. It's fine.
Scoop her up in your arms for some corporal cuddling.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's not much happiness about that, but
Ish.
eventually a submission.
I don't want submission. I want to not seduce is the wrong word, but I don't want to force her.
You have to coax her.
I want to coax her. Yeah, exactly.
Well, soon enough, Tinkerbell calms down, and then Esther says,
I believe that either we're having a significant solar event or Golden Boy is on his way.
No, I think visits from Golden Boy are more common.
Solar events are pretty common as well. Everything that the sun does that is not standard is a solar event. I mean, just scientifically speaking. But
Okay.
I hope it's a Golden Boy because I'm not that interested in solar events.
And I think that even if he isn't talking, I think Rafe's with me. I mean, he would have to come to the reunion.
And Swell too. I would say like the whole
Sure.
team together.
Yeah.
And so you'll get the ding dong on the doorbell.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Ah, Brutus, you're out. I brought champagne.
Marty, come on in. Thank you. Wow. Champagne. Haven't had that in a while.
I was just telling Rafe here that you should probably join the Roost. You could be called the Jailbird.
Yeah, that gives you a little, the smile is a little forced, but he's trying.
And I'm going to spend 4 XP. The Roost is working with Heroes for Hire.
Ooh, nice. Roost
Cool.
partners with Heroes for Hire. And I also saw in chat that Jen has spent 2 XP to set up Hope with a job at Spa. Great.
Cool. It's Echo's old job.
That's right.
Yep.
And Sylvia will occasionally reference, the first girl who worked here.
I mean, Hope isn't a teenager. So.
No.
Definitely not a teenager.
How was it there, Brutus?
Yeah. It wasn't my first time, It was my first time for 50 years, so not used to it. But they were pretty polite.
And you're free and clear?
Mostly, I got to do some work. I got to work for Parma now.
There's worse things than working for the government. I did it plenty of times.
Yeah, I told them I wouldn't build them weapons, though. It was a little...
Good call.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But...
never built... I've never... after I stopped being supervillain, I never... Even those things that I invented that could have been used as weapons, they are in the hands of people who will see that will never happen, or would not likely happen.
And you're gonna testify against Peril, huh?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I know a lot of the things this guy did.
Well, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you need any evidence collected to back that up.
A lot of that was a long time ago, but still, some things don't go beyond the statute of limitations.
And them folks, them villain types, they're sentimental. They keep stuff.
Right. They do. Huh. I didn't, but I stopped being a villain.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't in you, but most of the ones I ever dealt with more than once. They always had that trunk in the attic or a trophy room or...
I want to see a thought bubble above Brutus's head where it shows the flux disk when he dropped it into the ocean. He did not destroy it. It's still somewhere off the coast. But he's not saying anything.
Nice.
I could probably summon it right now. It might take an additional 30 minutes or so.
I have so many. It would be so much easier to recharge it with the technology I've invented since. I wouldn't need a Hoover dam. I would just need a household battery. But no, we don't need a flux disk. Nobody needs the flux disk with a time travel thing on it. No. That was bad. And I'm not talking.
Is your work for Parma gonna mean you can't work at the Heroes for Hire?
There's nothing in the contract that says that. There's nothing in the Let's see, in
No
the contract.
exclusivity clause?
No.
Well, that's good news.
It's green again. Sorry.
He's just hulking out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Annoying.
I thought the same thing.
I had to do it.
But I'm always angry, guys. Sorry.
It's all right.
Oh well. Yeah, no, I can still work, I think, for the Heroes for Hire. Unless, of course, they call me, then I can.
Yeah.
Well, the new
Shoot, I thought
recruits.
Hope was going to work with us, but instead she's actually just happy as a little clam working at Spa. Not that I ever seen a clam and knew why they were so happy, but you get it.
Maybe there's a clam dimension where everybody's happy all the time, and that's where the saying comes from.
I think I would have heard about that.
I imagine it's a lot safer working with the pets than it is going out there and being in the biz.
I think she deserves to have something nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
And she gets to work with Syl, and that's that'll be nice.
Oh, I've missed a lot about Syl. Talk to me, Marty. What's the situation there?
And I round on Marty too, and I'm like, yeah, you had a date, didn't you?
It was nice.
Nice.
There's still a little life in the old man, yet, and we seem to be hitting it off.
Well, I drink to that then.
Agreed. Pop. And I'll pop open the champagne and start pouring around.
Yeah. And Bruce, normally he doesn't drink, right? But this time he'll toast you. I mean, and the whole get out of jail thing, that calls for a toast. And I think he would have also not only texted the White Walkers, he would have texted Sammy as well.
Oh, Simi isn't here yet.
Yeah, it's fine.
But maybe she texts you back. She's on her way. She's caught up in something, but she'll make her way by.
Yeah, well, she's got work. Totally understand.
She does. You serve the Swell and Peacock as well.
Yeah.
They toast and throw a couple of toasts your way. And of course, the Swell's toast is the one that's inspirationally written and very heartwarming.
Oh.
Totally.
The audience all reaction. Dog kind of wanders into the kitchen and starts like poking her nose around and seeing how well stocked it is.
Ooh. Depends on how long Bruce was away, I think. I imagine that Esther is throw stuff out that had not cat. So
yeah,
this was not cat related and it's expired. Chuck.
Yeah.
Your grape jelly coagulated.
Well, that's what happens. We can make new one.
You want to hand doing any grocery shopping tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the offer. I'd like to take the sedan, though.
Yeah, of course. Bike's not exactly a grocery getter.
Yeah, I mean, I did it on my own bike, but that's just when I had to stock up on some noodles or something, or some small stuff.
Yeah, this could be a big trip.
Little bit bigger, yeah.
Dr. Emery, did you notify Exceptionist that you are out of jail?
No, why would I notify that guy? Do I even know them? Was he a sidekick of mine? A minion? I don't even remember.
Exceptionist is, I think we had to fight him at the local the local diner type place. You wanted to put an end to senior discounts.
That was General.
That
Oh,
was
that was
General
General
Melee.
Melee?
General.
Oh,
That's
okay.
General Melee.
Exceptionist, I hear's been starting a podcast.
Good for him, I guess. Yeah, and if
Sure.
he is,
Keeps them
he's-
off the streets.
Speaking
And
of
he's-
off the streets, perhaps he's come here to advertise his podcast? He is standing outside.
well, let him in then.
I'll come
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, let's figure out what he wants.
Cool. So you, dog, follow Esther as the two of you walk up to the front door, and you open it up, and you see it's Exceptionist, except he's not wearing his big black tights and his golden cape. He's wearing like a white wife beater and a pair of jeans and a backwards red cap.
Ain't you cold without a jacket? Want some bubbly?
Yeah.
What brings you around?
Golden Boy here.
Yeah, he's available. And I'll shout back, hey, Golden Boy.
What's up, Exceptionist?
He'll step inside and kind of looks around. Damn. A lot of heroes around in here. Except for me and you, Emery.
Yeah, I guess. Come on in. Did we ever meet back in the day?
I think you were Flux at that one
Yeah.
team up crossover thing of this fucking interdimensional something. whatever.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not. Best left unsaid. Hey, you know that Peril's got the hit out for you, right? You probably shouldn't be here. Word to the wise.
I know.
Okay. So you're just gonna put all your friends in danger hanging out at your own damn house. That's real smart.
Yeah, now that you say it, it's not, right?
Yeah, you should go into hiding.
Hmm.
Surprised
Can't.
Farmer didn't set you up, because it sounds like they're setting you up. They're probably
Mhm.
waiting for these guys to come in after your ass and nab them, but I sure wouldn't
Yeah.
want to be bait.
Farm is good, but they're not that good. They might not know about this hit.
Peril Prescott threatened me. And he had pretty good cause to be pissed. I mean, not that he was in the right, but he had cause to be pissed.
We can handle any sort of problems, I imagine, but what's on your mind there, Exceptions?
Yeah, well, we talked about doing that podcast. I got a few episodes out. I was thinking maybe you could come on. I mean, I guess all of you could, I guess.
Wow.
If you want, I don't care.
Well,
Sure.
yeah, I'd do it.
I'm really glad to see you taking this route, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it's a few sponsors are trying to get on Stitcher, and
I heard you seem to be very fond of that Blue Apron.
Oh, I mean, it's not a lie. I don't really so,
Dog looks totally lost.
So does Emery.
Like, in her mind, she's like, okay, he likes blue aprons.
nice. Yeah, well, I gave you my card, so you should call on it.
I'll do that. And
You haven't called me, Marty.
well, there's been a lot going on, and I didn't know if you'd want to have an old coot like me.
I mean, you got a gym.
Yeah. I
You
don't
could
know how
promote
much.
your gym.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I suppose I could.
Do one of those lame ass Zumba specials or whatever.
It's a really good cardio, except that you really should think about it. Never mind.
You could say all that on my podcast, is what I'm saying.
I will be there.
All right. Good deal.
And thanks for the warning on the head.
No problem. I mean, I'm not out for it. Peril can go spit.
He's
Very
going to go
reasonable.
down.
He's gonna go down. Yeah, and I can't precisely leave. I've got a contract. I've made a contract with Parma, and I'm gonna stay at home when I'm not working for them or stay wandering around the mall or Beechwood.
Set up, old man. Get set up.
Yeah, I guess. But if it draws out people like that, I'm fine with that. You just take care of yourself because you came here.
Oh, they know better than mess with me. I'll tear this whole block down. Damn it.
Please don't.
You drink some more of the wine. I
My
think there's
neighbors.
two drink maximum here. Is that how this bubbly's going?
Yep.
All right, fine. Well, I could tell that the party pretty much stopped when I walked in, so I'll get my hell out of here. I'll see you later, Golden Boy.
I'll be in touch. I'll call you people. I'll give him a call tomorrow.
All right. And
Yeah, and I
you're down.
hand him a
dog.
little slip of paper. He's like, here's my deeds. You can pay me whenever.
You'll be like, there's a hell of a lot of numbers on this number, but okay.
Yep.
And he'll-
While
Yeah.
they're talking, I'll set up a drone to follow him.
Cool. That sounds good.
Because I'm a bit worried now about the whole peril thing. And I know the others, how much they can take care of themselves, but this exception guy, he's not top tier material. He's just not. So
He's not top tier material. That's fair.
he can't no. Just to see that he makes it back wherever he's going safely. You know?
Yeah. You watch him on the drone. Maybe you've
Mhm.
got that off to the side. You see he walks a block down, like he parked a block away, and
Mhm.
gets in this beat up pickup truck, and you see like checks the little like flip phone for a second and closes it down and drives off. Do you have a home phone, Dr. Emery?
A what?
A home phone? Like, do you have?
Yeah,
a-
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, landline. Yeah, I do.
You have a landline. Yes, that's the phrase I should have used. It rings. Do you have like a caller ID? I would imagine, being the genius that you are. You
Yeah,
see, it's an unknown caller.
Yeah, I've got a caller ID, and I'll look to Aster and say, "Hey, figure out where that call's coming from."
Okay, pulling a trace now.
Okay.
It's coming from the missile silo.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll take the call.
Cool. So click, and you hear Dr. Emery. This is Dr. Warp.
What do you want?
Oh, I heard you got out of the clink.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So well. Yeah. So, congratulations.
Thanks.
You know, you and I, professionally speaking, doctor to doctor. I come to understand that you are a partner in this Heroes for Hire place of business.
More like an investor.
No, well, all right, investor. I also understand that there may be the possibility of work.
You want to work for Heroes for Hire. You,
You've seen
Dr.
the
Orb.
Ladytrons that I've built. My scientific advancements are still significant even in this day and age.
I'll press the mute button because I have to laugh now. And that is impolite, but I'm going to. What the hell?
It's gonna be good.
I'll get back to him. And sorry, I'll have to talk that over with my partners. You understand, right?
Of course. Yes. All right. I'll send over my CV your way.
Yeah, please do. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Like hangs up, and you see him like finishes up his little resume, puts it in the mail. licks
Turn
it.
around and tell you he wants to work for Dr. Warp, the guy with the Ladytrons.
Well,
Huh.
Yeah.
I must admit, mixed feelings.
Yeah, pretty much, Esther. That's exactly the thing. Pretty mixed feelings sums it up nicely.
Well, it would be getting a villain off the streets.
Yeah, but didn't Parma take him in? How is he even at the missile silo again?
You are back home too, aren't you, Brutus?
Yeah, but officially, maybe he's. I don't know if he's escaped or I don't know. I mean, we should figure that out before we do anything else, right?
Yeah, I'd reach out to Hugo about this first,
yeah.
see what he had to say about it.
Yeah.
I
And,
wonder if they've got an Esther answering their phones.
it'd be an improvement, wouldn't it?
Well, even though he was a little bit of a pain in the old tuchus, I'll say that his reasoning was always for good.
Oh yeah, he wanted to promote world peace, wasn't that it?
Yeah. That was his deal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if his
Yeah.
heart's in the right place and he doesn't expect us to roll with any of his more outlandish ideas, probationary something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of interesting to talk to him because the work he did on Esther and that brain, that is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus, I mean, his Ladytrons,
I mean,
they're
we should really,
sophisticated. They deserve a chance, you know?
yeah, we should really talk about the way he sees women, but
Yeah.
It's all right. I know I'm hot.
yeah, but I mean, he has to accept you as a person, right? Not as a kind of thing that he controls or that anyone controls. You're muted, Esther.
I agree.
I gotta say that seeing exceptionists go into media, having the doctor there trying to work towards good, all these things, makes me feel like we made a little difference.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah. We done a little more than making sure airships don't crash into residences.
Yeah, it's one thing to do something kind of helpful, but it's another thing to inspire other people, right?
Right.
Yeah. See, Rafe, you said it was all going to be a pile of coo.
Peacock murmurs. Says something wry.
And Swell says something very wise and convincing.
Of course.
Oh, you always cut to the heart of it, Swell.
Yeah, that is it. You should write books, Swell, really. I mean, you've got a way with words.
You let me know once you got an audiobook.
And so the wine has been, the wine bottle is empty, and the group, the lot of you, are commiserating and enjoying your time together. And I think that is where we will bring this scene to a close. I think this might be a good point for a break.
Yes.
Everybody gets 3 spark back from that awesome refresh scene. And so we'll take our break here. All right, so we're back, and we have some XP expenditures and more hood upgrades, which I'm really delighted by. So during the last scene, I saw a note that passed through that we were doing, some XP spent. So we get to let's storytell out some of these events, because I see Sabine also spent some XP as well. So let's start off. We'll do it in sequence. So, Dog, tell us a little bit about these new backers for the IGoA Mall.
Uh,
Are you thinking that the aliens that actually have their ship underneath you is it, or do you? That's
yeah,
where you're headed?
I think it's them, because like we rescued 4 of them from having their blood siphoned off indefinitely.
Awesome. So the Virez
Yes.
have come posing as like they're blue skinned aliens, but I imagine that they work through some intermediaries to bring some funding.
Yep.
And in order to start new upgrades to the mall, which of course is also a great cover for them to maybe start either secure their own ship or maybe even get it out of there. But regardless, it will be an overall beneficial thing for the IGoA Mall. It's like a small dignitary of Beechwood is there for some kind of groundbreaking for some new construction there and a number of improvements. And that's why we don't see the Swell as much, right? Because he's busy as the
Yep.
custodian for the mall, the concierge, doing a lot of the upgrades. And then there's yet another thing that's moving into the mall. We see the do we name your boxing gym? I feel so bad that I don't know that right off the top of my head.
I don't think we ever did, or if we did, I've certainly forgotten it, and
Okay.
we didn't write it down nowhere. So
All right, then I feel less bad.
oh, I think maybe it's something real simple like Beechwood boxing.
Oh yeah, I remember even making a joke about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's perfectly generic. So yeah, it's still Beechwood boxing, because why get confusing?
Nice. And it's moving into the Sears spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That is going to be a 2-story. Man, that's going to be
Yep.
crazy.
And yeah, 2 stories, man. What would a boxing gym do with 2 stories of gym? It's pretty cool, though. I mean, clearly the ring is on the first floor, a handful of other
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool. I doubt that there's a lot of money to remodel.
Yeah, they just got to basically um, erect the ring and drop in a bunch of beams so they can put down the speed bags and heavy bags.
Right, moving the equipment.
A little bit of work on converting the changing rooms and bathrooms into to add showers in, but otherwise pretty much go with it as you see it, because
Yep.
anything more than that would be probably more expensive than they could handle at this time. I dig it. And maybe we pick up, just to communicate that, we pick up with a boxing match. All right. And there are a bunch of people here, more fans than we've ever seen at any of the background moments at Beechwood Boxing. Tell us a bit about the person that you've been coaching, Dog. This is their first match.
First match. I think they started doing this just for fitness, right?
Nice.
But I think they've got a knack for it. They've got a little bit more killer instinct than they give themselves credit for. And as long as they can stay focused and keep their head in the ring, they are a fairly dangerous boxer for their skill level.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is this, there's somebody from Bedlam who's here to fight them. So there's a little bit of two boxing establishments going up against each other here.
Yeah, we're doing an invitational so that
Oh.
our students can get some practice.
Oh, I love it. That's really cool. So it's like a big invitational, hoping to raise some money in order to get some new, upgrades to the brand new gigantic facility.
Yep, one of our long running instructors has sort of hung up the gloves for instruction for this invitational, and instead he's running a barbecue.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yep. Yeah, we couldn't get a permit to do it inside, so it's just right on the sidewalk to the entrance. But between that and selling sodas, hopefully we'll raise some good cash.
So Golden Boy or Goldie, do you show up by yourself, or do you come to this boxing match with somebody?
I think since it's here in the mall, I probably would have gone by Spa and seen if Syl would like to walk down and watch the matches with me.
Nice. And you're greeted by Hope, and we get that, actual evidence of her enjoying the new job.
You liking it, kid?
I am. I really like animals. This is
Good.
interesting.
Well, I'm I know you're in good hands here. Speaking of the lovely hands, Syl.
Hey, are you going to that boxing match? Do we approve of that level of violence, Marty?
I've seen worse.
I bet you have.
Care to accompany me? I'll buy you a hot dog.
How about I just go? And she will take off the little apron that she wears so she doesn't get a bunch of pet hair on her clothes. And she says, Hope, do you mind? Oh, of course, not at all. I will close up and probably drop by. And then Sylvia comes over and slides her arm into yours.
So no hot dog? Popcorn?
Popcorn sounds great. And I can always just donate a little money. That's cool too.
And I think as we get there, as we walk in, there'll be the kind of flash of light as I grab popcorn and pop back immediately. There you go.
Nice. Thank you. What about Dr. Emery? Will he be making an appearance?
Sure, I mean, I used to box when I was young. I mean, I stopped doing it when I started getting into the weird science. But yeah, I'm okay. I started it in juvie, but let's not talk too much about it. But I did it. When I was a minion, it was very helpful.
Probably paid off, yeah. So you park your... Did you ride on the bike or take your sedan?
No, I ride on the bike. If I'm going to the mall, I can take my bike because, I mean, environment and stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
The sedan is a guzzler, really. So I take the bike.
So you pull up the bike and come to the little bike rack that's right up front. You hear, "Hey," and when you glance back, you see that it's Simi, your daughter.
Oh. Hey.
I thought I would come and watch the boxing. I'm sure they won't be able to box as well as you used to, Dad.
I wasn't that good. I was a punk kid.
Now you're a punk elderly man, right?
I hope I'm a respectable member of society now. And I wink at her.
She walks in with you, and you guys are walking from, one of the main entrances around to the boxing gym, and you see all of the new lights that are being strung by the swell, and he's of course using his cool stretching powers. You see there's a little bit of a line of people that are going through admissions and heading into Beechwood boxing.
Cool.
Dad, I know you really want to be here for these folks, but I am starting to get worried for you. The trial,
Yeah.
Your name was on the list of witnesses
Oh, yeah.
announced today. That was...
Yeah, I know, but don't want to hide myself.
I know you don't. So I'll be around a little bit more to make sure you're okay.
Sammy, he said he would be after my family.
Well, if I'm near you, then you'll protect me.
Always. I haven't talked to your mother at all, but how's she doing?
She's good.
Okay.
And I'm making sure that nobody can find her.
Good.
I'll tell you more, but
Yeah, I know. She doesn't want to talk to me yet. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's my own fault.
I wish she could see who you are now.
Oh, well. I've got you now. I'm happy. It's more than I deserve, for sure. And I pat her shoulder a bit awkwardly. I'm not a usually physically affectionate person, except for Tinkerbell, but I try.
And she'll stop and reach up and pull you closer and hug you.
Oh, I'll hug her back, of course.
Her eyes are a little wet when
So
she
happy
pulls back.
that you're here.
Me too, Dad. I'm really proud of what you're doing. I know it can't be easy. You've hidden what happened for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What made
You
you
know,
change your
Danielle,
mind? Why did you decide to do this?
because I thought, I mean, Cyril lost his son, and I thought I could get through to him. But I knew if I did, if I tried that, he would know who I was, and then it would be, he would have that to blackmail me, and the only way I could avoid that was to give myself up. So,
So strategic then, not emotional.
it was emotional because I really tried. I really thought that I had a chance to help him see that there are things that are more worthwhile than wealth and power, right? Especially since I've met you, I know that. I knew that. I thought, and I don't know. I thought he might need a friend, but he really didn't know what to do with that.
He didn't deserve it.
No,
I mean,
he
I
didn't.
think you needed to offer it, but he didn't deserve your friendship.
No. He was a privileged, bad motherfucker. If I may be so maybe so blunt, but
It's fine. I've heard worse, Dad.
I imagine you did.
So you guys pay for tickets and you head inside, and one of the things that you notice, question for Dog. What's the primary color for Beechwood boxing? Like, what's your primary color? The one that we would see on the boxing trunks.
Blue.
Cool. So we see a fighter in blue trunks and a fighter, of course, in red trunks because they're diametrically opposed. The Bedlam Brawlers are an angry red, and Beechwood Boxing's in blue. That's easy to remember too. And when you come inside, Dr. Emery, you can tell that the fighter in red trunks is getting trounced. She's got her gloves up, and the much thicker, broader, probably a different weight class fighter in the angry red trunks is just kind of coming forward and laying into her. There's a little bit of blood. The ref actually pauses the fight for a second, and then starts to give her a count. But our Beechwood boxer, she seems like she's able to wave that off, and then the bell rings, ending the first round. And let's give her a name. What do you think our Beechwood boxers should be named?
Iris?
Well, I kind of like
Sure.
the name Iris. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to drop a pic of Iris, who just happens to be wearing blue. That was a lucky guess on my part.
Nice.
She is on row 8, right beside the swell, in her nice blue trunks. And we come to Dog. You're in her corner, literally in her corner, right? And you see her left eyebrow is bleeding, and her eyes a little swollen, and she looks dazed. And she takes a swig of water, spits in the bucket, and yeah, what do you do when you see her in this state?
doing the usual, seeing if I can slow the bleeding and advise her, like, hey, is your head still in it? Iris, look at me.
Yeah.
You want to forfeit?
No, can't. And you see her, she glances over at the booth, at the ticket booth. She knows what's on the line. She knows that if this fight's over before it even begins, that the people online might hear about it. They might leave. You can see a little bit of fear in her eyes at the idea of giving up too. What do you do?
Just telling you it's an option. This is a fight for play. You're not trying to save somebody's life here.
Okay.
But if you want to get in there and you want to do this fight, I know you can manage it. Your opponent there, they're a beast. But you are a hunter. Now, this is going to slow the bleeding on your eye, but if they give you another clip to the temple like that, it's probably going to start bleeding. It's probably going to blur out your vision.
Okay.
What's something about her opponent's boxing that I've noticed?
Ooh, let's give it to a roll. Let's actually
All
have
right.
some dice hit the table, the
Yeah.
virtual table as it is.
All right.
We'll call it a head roll.
Yeah, I think this is
Perception,
normal and bricky.
Yeah, totally.
So that's 3, that's 5 to start with. I think both highly trained and super senses motion can help me out here.
Definitely.
So that's 9 dice total. So 3 successes.
Yeah, you this would have been a good difficulty. So 3 successes is great for you. That gets you what you need. You notice that say your name's Lucy. We're going with lots of classic names here. Lucy, the opponent, Luce. She, when she's going to throw a right cross, she kind of dips down before she does it to try to put a little bit more in it. And when she does, she drops her guard. Her chin's fully exposed.
So when she goes and dips her shoulder like this, that's what she does just before she does a right cross. And as she does the wind up, her chin's wide open.
Okay.
You got to take that shot. And while you're waiting for it, dance around her. Lucy's got a lot of weight on you. Make her throw it around where it ain't going to do any good. Get her tired.
Okay. I can do that.
All right.
Cool. And then she heads out, the bell rings, and she comes forward, and the two rejoin fighting each other. I think Golden Boy, you and Sylvia see Dr. Emery and Simi. I assume you save them a seat, right?
Sure.
Cool. So you guys grab a seat together. Golden Boy throw any like updates there or anything he says when they arrive together?
When Simi and good to see you, Simi. Nice. This is Simi. This is Brutus's daughter.
They do a polite, handshake and nod. I didn't know you had a daughter, Dr. Emery.
Well,
She must take after her mother, she says, and she winks.
And I smile hugely. That's what I told him.
Simi says, I take after my dad where it counts.
She does a little.
And when you guys look up,
Better.
you see that Iris, the form is a little bit on the raw side, but she throws an uppercut that catches her opponent right here, like right in the very pin of the jaw, and her head snaps back for a second. She takes a couple of staggered steps back, and the Bedlam brawler ends up being saved by the ropes. The ref isn't quick enough to step in, and Iris takes that opening and goes in to pummel on her, goes for Brad Baskin, and really gives her several savage blows to her ribs. And then the ref steps in, and tables have turned a little bit, as now it might be a little bit more of an even match, and people are starting to get excited. Dog, how are you doing anything? Like, is the Beechwood Boxing, are they doing anything to make sure that there is no betting here, or is that a thing that's okay here?
Betting's not okay here. I think I don't really know what a boxing gym would do to prevent betting. You know, just a general, if we see anything really obvious, we ask people to leave.
Cool.
Kind of a
Okay.
situation.
All right, that's awesome. I just wanted to see, like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
The smell of hot dogs fill the air, Golden Boy. Sylvia eats her popcorn and says nothing about it. Would Dr. Emery have a hot dog? Is he a hot dog kind of doctor?
Hmm?
Awesome.
Sorry, what?
Does Dr. Emery eat hot dogs?
There's
Yes.
probably also pulled pork.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Simi has a pulled pork sandwich. She would be down for that. So,
I think Dr. Emery is not a gourmet per se. He will eat a hot dog. If that's what there is, then he eats a hot dog. He's not finicky. I mean, he would rather go to a really fancy restaurant and have something really fancy, a fish or something. But if that is not on the menu, then hot dog's fine.
yeah, not on the menu. Yeah, the guy's been bragging about the pulled pork for a week for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's one of those where they have like the huge, black barrel
Yep.
sized
Yep.
roaster going on. So yeah,
Barbecue guys, they're just like that.
They are so much like that. I worked with a barbecue guy just like that. It was delightful, the amount of pride that was taken in the roasting of beef. Cool. Dog, you're up there watching as Iris is taking her cue and found her feet, and things are back on an even keel. You glance around, you recognize Megawatt. Megawatt is another retired super. We have not really defined too much about him on the people and places. You have mentioned, we talked about Cap being a retired cyber hero who was from the Mojoverse.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about if Megawatt was from the Mojoverse, or is he not one that we had not said was a part of Mojoverse?
I mean, it's entirely possible that he was a part of that group that broke out after a brief stint. So he's not from the Mojoverse, but he has visited involuntarily.
Nice. Cool.
He's been on a short contract.
Cool. So we see the fight continues on for a couple more rounds. Everyone's here. The money, the till is building up. You guys are definitely raising more money than you ever did at your old location. Unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive here to pay just the sheer square foot is enormous. And let's leave it up to a die roll. You
Sure.
roll the dice, Jen, for whether Beechwood wins or not. Let's just roll. It's just a simple d6, like a die of fate.
All right.
You want to high or do you want low? You get to will whether you want the dice to go high for you. This will be a 50-50 shot.
I want the high.
All right.
Mhm.
4, 5, or 6 means that Iris wins the
5.
knockout. 5. Nice.
Call me Dr.
Oh.
Rollgood.
Way to go. Way to think high thoughts and pull it off. There's definitely some accomplishment you should feel from that random number generator. Yay. Iris heads into the 7th round. They're both dripping with sweat and tired, but your words and the encouragement give her what she needs. And near the midpoint of the 7th round, she lands a fury of blows with some new energy, and Lucy goes down to the canvas, and it is a knockout. And the Bedlam Brawlers go down. Wait, there's a picture? There's a new pick?
There's a new pick for
Goldie.
Golden Boy's dog, Goldie.
Oh, sweet. In the dogs area? I love it.
Uh-huh.
The pets. Yeah.
I'm going
Yep.
down to the pets.
Mhm.
Oh, they look so friendly and sweet.
Shut your face.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah.
That's
I want
great.
to pet him.
That's great.
Ah,
Way to
Yeah.
go.
but
Thank you for that. Sweet. And the coach for Lucy comes out to shake your hand. They're cool about it. It was, again, a friendly match, even though Iris was pretty into it and stressed. And
yeah. Yep, we share some words, pat on the shoulder, step away, and now it's time to take care of Iris and make sure that she's getting looked at.
cool. Yeah, probably good if somebody takes a close look at that eye just to make sure that there isn't any underlying damage.
Yeah, we've got somebody who's a little better than me at first aid, probably
Yeah, sure.
stepping in.
And she's happy. She gives you a sweaty hug. Pretty excited
work.
that she pulled it off. Thanks. Yes, Coach. That was all I needed. I just needed that one spot, and everything else worked out. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
And then she will head off with Doc, and you don't recognize him for a moment, but the young teenager who comes up to you, the young boy with dyed blonde hair, the cowl not being present gives you a bit of a moment of pause, but Fernando Fernandez, aka Goldfinch, comes up to you, Dana, and says, "Wow, that was really good. You taking on new students? Because, I mean, Catherine's really good, but I could, yeah, Grandpa would like that stuff, right?"
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think he'd be pretty happy. I know he's floated the idea of him volunteering for some instruction here from time to time. So you might even see him here.
Oh, perfect. More time with the master. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Both you guys.
Now you're underage, so we got some forms that your parents got to fill out.
Oh. Yeah, sure. I can get those forged. That's fine.
I didn't hear any of that.
That's right. We'll just pretend that Black Condor's my dad, and everything will be fine. What my mom doesn't know won't hurt me, is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure you have dealt with problems like this before, kid. So welcome to the club.
Is he Black or Magpie's son?
I think I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I know Magpie has a teenage son.
Yeah, Magpie has a teenage son. Hold on. I've got Raphael's family tree.
Oh, that's true.
He's the son of Black Condor. There we go.
Huh,
Okay,
all
good.
right.
I thought ahead. Yay. Yeah, he's the 15-year-old sidekick who's the son of Black Condor. And so he'll just get Black Condor to sign off on it, and they will both ignore his mom.
Yep.
Telling the truth, because that's healthy. And obviously Black Condor has learned at least one thing from his dad: unhealthy relationship. No, actually, I think Peacock had some pretty healthy relationships. I'm sorry, I'm just joking around.
Yeah. But I'll definitely pat the kid on the back and go, now I can overlook your documentation, but the gym can't overlook it if you don't pay dues. So.
Oh, that's no problem. Making money off of this Heroes for Hire thing where we work jobs. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
I am not comfortable with having a 15-year-old kid in our thingy here, because the Heroes for Hire thing is dangerous, and that's a 15-year-old kid. And I mean, maybe Brutus doesn't.
Perfectly legal to be working as long as they only work 20 hours a week.
Heroes for Hire do dangerous stuff, put ourselves in harm's way. That's a kid. It's a 15-year-old kid.
You gotta learn. I mean, Brutus.
That's not a way to learn. It's a way to get hurt.
It's a dangerous business, but experience is how you get better.
Yeah, but experience you can't do. You know how cops train? They don't train by pushing their rookies in the line of fire.
Then we put him on easier cases.
We make sure he's always got at least 2 other heroes working the same beat.
I started when I was 11.
And you think that was right?
Well,
I mean, I started when I was 15, but that was because I was thrown in jail. That wasn't right either.
This is putting them on the straight and narrow. Besides, he's got the best of teachers.
Sylvia steps in, kind of throwing in her opinion, and says, Marty, I have to say I agree with Dr. Emery. 15 is so young. When you were younger,
Rich, can you ungreen yourself, please? Because
yes,
my eyes start hurting. I'm sorry.
I apologize. I didn't know it was green. I can't tell, so I appreciate you telling me.
What goes green?
My screen turns green every once in a while, randomly.
It didn't for me.
It didn't for
you.
It
did for me. Huh.
Yeah. And I have these. When I look around now, I see shadows of that green screen, and
do tell me. I'm more than happy. Even
How
though
weird though that it's not everybody that sees it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Lucky you. I've seen it. I've seen it on another person last week.
How strange.
Their video turned green. I've tried turning my video on and off, and that didn't work. But when I share screens, it seems to cause whoever sees the green for it to fix.
That's weird.
Awesome. Sylvia steps in and says, Marty, I mean, maybe things were different when you were younger, but kids these days, the criminals have guns and there's so much drugs, and I'm with Dr. Emery here. I don't know if it's a great idea. You guys run your business the way you want for most things, but I would say 18 years old is the minimum.
Alden, maybe we should look into having some sort of training program. Somebody walks out there at 18, if they hadn't had the training, they're just as dead as they could be. I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't train him. We should totally train him if he wants to do this. He should learn how things work. But putting him an active case where things can go wrong, and you get, as Sylvia says, guns are a bad thing. Mm.
Nice.
You don't want him hurt, Marty.
Cool. So I think you guys had that conversation, come to a little bit of a, not a stalemate, but come to you haven't 100% bought in there quite yet, Marty. I think we
Discussion tabled.
Oh yeah, it seems like it's been tabled. A couple more fighters come up. This was not the, maybe it's the headline, but we'll say there are some other fighters at heavier weights that are up in the big boxing exhibition, and Megawatt comes over to see you, dog. Dana.
What? How you doing?
Doing all right. It's Emery, isn't it? He kind of nods his head towards the
Yep.
cyclist. There's a pretty big bounty on his head.
That's what I keep hearing.
Heard he's testifying against Peril.
That's his plan. I'm pretty proud of him.
Yeah, proud of him, but he's getting a sweetheart deal out of it.
Yeah. I know people remember the past, and they ain't wrong to.
The cemetery full of people who can't move
Yep.
out of the past because of what Emery did.
And he's aware. And he knows better.
Just string both of them up. Be done with it.
Well, if he'd have been strung up after all the mistakes that he's made, then there would have been no chance for him to, let's see, stop Dr. Warp from sending an army of Ladytrons into the West Coast. Dr. Emery wouldn't have been there to stop some frickin' time pirate from terrorizing the city.
Yeah, I heard about Aether Blade.
He was pretty good with that blade, but not good enough.
I'm sure.
Listen, Emery's not just saying he's sorry. He's doing things to prove it.
All right. Well, that's your opinion. I will tell you, though. You stand by Emery, there are going to be a lot of people gunning for him.
Yep. I figure we've taken out a few opportunists over the past couple of weeks. There'll be more. Just means my dance card's full. I don't have to put any work into putting names on it.
Nice.
I'm
And
feeling sharper since I've been back to Mojoverse, Ain't really moving like I used to move, but I'm thinking like I used to think.
that's good. Hope all right.
Yeah, she's good. Got a job now, even. We'll give her another month or two staying with us at the house. Although, yeah, it might even be up to 3 months because I hear you got to save up even more deposit nowadays. But then
Yeah.
she can start living on her own, getting on with her own life.
And I think this is the point when there is a low rumble. We see several people kind of looking around, worried about earthquakes. This is California. And a number of the chairs that were put up for people to be able to see, they all start rising up into the air. And people are starting to run away, and the boxing match stops, and we see that the ring itself, like several of the posts at the corners, come pulling up out of their moorings, and everything starts moving towards Dr. Emery. All of these inanimate objects. Outside, you hear the sounds like a jet coming towards you guys, and then you hear a loud thunk. And looking out the old Sears revolving door type thing, you see the legs of Crimson Dynamo. And that is, I think, just because for time, that will be our point when Dr. Emery and the crew has to team up together to fight off several of the folks who are here for Professor Peril's bond. But we have a few scenes that we want before we bring things to an end. So I think that will end up on the cutting room floor, like the end of the movie Desperado, maybe. We just know that you guys have to have a big Titanic fight with lots of splash panels and the like. But what are a couple of the scenes that you would like before we bring things to an end, Tyler?
I believe that Sabine bought off the fines and
yes,
on the gem. So I think we see the gem, and it's actually, we're seeing the equipment being carted out. And we could see there's a line, they're heading towards the boxing gym. And Golden Boy Marty is there, and we see Tim Bellator. And well, Timmy, I took your advice. I just went ahead and sold everything off. We got lucky. All the fines, all the issues, they're over. And well, I'll hold out an envelope. This is what I've gotten for the equipment, and I'm gonna. Someone kind of fronted me those fines. I'm gonna pay those off myself. So I'm just gonna give all this here to you, Tim.
He opens it, and of course it's Tim, so he opens up the envelope and quickly thumbs through the money. He's going to count it in front of you.
Tim, I hope you take care of this. I hope you find a way to, to start taking care of yourself there, son.
I don't know. I mean, Dad mentioned that he's got a pack of some doubloons or something that's really, I think I'll be okay. This is good seed money. I've actually been thinking about getting into Bitcoin.
Well, I don't know what that is, Tim, but I hope that it I hope that it means you'll have gainful employment.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna open up a vape shop and get into Bitcoin.
I don't know any of that, but I'm sure you're gonna be. Damn. Look, your dad was. I know he wasn't very. Was it dad, grandfather? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a good point. Is it dad or grandfather? I don't think we even have Tim in listener NPCs.
We do. Yeah. Grandson. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, grandpa.
Your grandpa wasn't great. And, well, he kind of screwed up your dad. And that's why I've always tried to be here for you, Tim. But it's time for you to look after yourself a bit. And, you can always come to me for advice. But it's time to make yourself your own man.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, it'll be fine. Thanks.
You're welcome, son.
And he offers you a hand for a handshake. Takes him a moment. Like, he has to kind of process what is the thing that we should do before I walk away.
I'll kind of take the hand and I'll move in and kind of give the pat hug. And then as he separates and moves off, I kind of give a sigh and Tempest, you son of a bitch.
Awesome. Do we have any epilogue scenes? You said you had a few, but let me bounce over to Sabine. Did you have anything that you wanted to make sure that we got to for Dr. Emery?
Yeah, I just think I would like to have a scene where we have some sort of a kind of a courtroom scene. And I think we will see that Brutus has not escaped the whole fight in the boxing ring quite unscathed. I think he's wearing some bandages. You've greened out again. I'm sorry to say.
I'm so sorry too.
Okay, it's better now.
Is it better?
No, it's not. It's the orc was better, but did Alex paint that orc? Draw that orc?
You did.
He did.
Cool.
That is so crazy because it has never done anything to me.
Fixed now, Sabine?
Yeah, it's fixed now. It's good now. Sorry, Tyler. Just
No, it's a lot. I've seen it. It's very hurts
and
my eyes too. So anyway, it's you didn't escape the.
Yeah, I didn't escape unscathed. I mean, probably some bandages or some stuff. Maybe in a wheelchair or something. You don't know if that's permanent or not, but well. And he is giving testimony about, and this is the defense attorney, and they're really good. They're really aggressive and like trying to get Brutus to contradict himself or say that he didn't know or stuff like that. But Brutus has been prepared here, and Brutus is a strategic guy. And of course, that is when we see in the background, I mean, Prescott is there, right? He has to be. It's his trial. Yes. And then we can see, and this is only drawn, and you only see the eyes of Prescott drawn like there is this thing going around them, and he wants to use his powers now, and probably on the jury, and then you can see Brutus looking at him, and then there is this little spark flying somewhere around his head, like weird, and he's kind of twitching and shaking his head and just glaring at Brutus. And I think we'll leave it at that.
I like it. Cool. I know Jen needed to step away. So did you have another scene you want to make sure?
One thing I want to say in the audience. at the courtroom. There's Sammy. She's there. She's alive. She's well. She's not hurt. She's not visibly hurt.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you for making sure we touched on that as well. So bouncing back over for Golden Boy, any other scenes that you wanted to throw?
Yeah, we kind of see Golden Boy, his face, he's kind of concentrated looking down. And then we get the next panel, he's looking at a chessboard. Actually, I think it's checkers. He's looking at a checkerboard.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
He moves one forward. Yeah, 36 life sentences. 526 years before he's eligible for parole. I told you, you just got to have a little faith sometimes. And we kind of shift over to the other side, and we see a very pale hand move forward and pick up a checker piece and click, 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 click. King B. And the panel pulls up, and we see Ghost Gunner looking over across at Golden Boy in his prison outfit. Damn it, Gunner! You always beat me.
Oh, nice switch to checkers. That's really perfectly appropriate. Nice. Any last scenes, or shall we just pause? Oh, Jen's back.
Hey, sorry about that.
No problems. Did you have any epilogue scenes you wanted to throw in before we bring things to a close?
I think it's Dog out on a long, quiet stretch of highway, riding the hovercycle. And a notification gets pushed from Hermojo's lab to the cycle's actual little personal screen. And it looks like it's some kind of generous offer to return to some part of the Mojoverse pipeline as a trainer of some kind.
Ooh.
The dog stops to scroll through a couple of things and see some photos and grunt and just go. Delete contact. And then continue riding. Perhaps even off into the sunset.
Nice. Nice. Sweet. And I think the last panel is the Heroes for Hire. The store looks much snazzier. You got new displays up, more photogenic, but then there's still a few of the original heroes in there as well. And it looks like there's a healthy amount of business coming in and out. And then that will put to bed our Hit the Mall, Defend the Shops series.
The end? Question mark?
I love the end question mark. It always tickles me, especially for like the movies that never got a sequel, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the answer is yes.
Sweet. All right. Well, that will bring our series to a close. Let's quickly go through our questions, just because it's rote and habit. Did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood or someone from your past? I don't know. I think this may be a low XP session.
I mean, we were at the boxing ring, but I don't know. We didn't really roll anything.
That was kind of off screen.
Dynamo.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, let's grab all these XP we'll never need again.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Totally
Sure.
did.
Okay, you talked me into it. Oh, my R is twisted so hard.
Oh.
Did you protect the citizens of your neighborhood at least once? Sure, Iris would have gotten clobbered if only Dog hadn't done what she did, but she did. Did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rivals?
Yeah.
Nah. All right, so 2 XP for everybody. We do our individuals. Did you, Golden Boy, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past?
Yeah, sure. I think I did because I went out dancing. I did my
true.
day-to-day stuff. I dealt with Tim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Tim scene was as a button was great. Then, did you support another teammate when they needed you? I think that's what this whole session was about, was you guys supporting each other. So I'll just declare everyone gets that one. Dog, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past?
Sure, I think so.
Cool. All right. And then I've already stipulated that the support another teammate, so that's 4 XP. And then Cyclist, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations or problems with your age or past? I think so. There's a
Maybe.
whole lot of struggling with your past. So
Yeah, well, what a
4
weird
XP.
past.
What a weird past. 4 XP for you. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I supported the other two as much as they supported me, though.
fair.
Yeah, I mean, this was
That's
more.
true. That was
The
definitely
party at my house was more about them supporting me than the other way around.
all right.
Oh.
I agree. Then 3 XP.
Bless you.
Cool. Yeah, I think we'll bring the recording to a close. So we'll do any after chat that we need to off air. Thank you guys so much for playing with this.
Oh, of course.
And,
Can I say something before you go
yeah,
off air?
Absolutely.
Rich, this is a really freaking great game. The mechanics of this game are amazing. You wrote a wonderful game, and this has been a hell of a series.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The way you tied in all these loose ends and brought them up again, and that was amazing. Thank you for
Sarah
that.
did.
Cool. Thank you guys. That was great. It makes me feel great. Thank you all so much. So, for sure, at the beginning of next year, we will be playing Apocalypse World Burned Over. We've chosen a amazing hard zone that was created by friend Sawyer Rankin. Ferretheim Games is the person, if you want to support them on Drive-Thru or Itch. They have a bunch of really cool monster hearts and other things. So it's going to be super fun. And it is not going to be your gray and beige kind of apocalypse at all. It's going to be a very colorful and wild interpretation of Apocalypse World Burned Over. Quite looking forward to it. And with that, we'll bring this to a close. Thanks everybody for playing.